Hello everyone and welcome back to TPS training. I'm Lewis Weber for Behavior Care. During this segment we are looking at the home note. The home note is a great feature of TPS because it is a direct conduit of the data that you have collected right here in data entry or entered on the data entry tab. Of course, you've collected it on your data sheet, but you've entered it on the data entry tab, and the home note is going to take this information and it's going to make it visible in the following way. First thing you must do though is you must put the date of the home note. In this case I've put 9/4. So all the data that I've collected for 9/4 is going to show up on each student's home note. Now for home notes, the notes go down this way. It goes down 24 students as opposed to going across, and there are some reasons for that on a technical side. But let's take a look at JB's data for 9/14. First of all, we'll note that it tells you how this works. So on the left side, 1 check mark for a low amount, 2 check marks for a medium, and 3 check marks for a high amount, or 0 if the behavior did not occur. What TPS does is to say if there is a blank, we're going to enter a 0 on the home note. You don't need to enter 0, but TPS puts the 0 in to let a parent know that 0 behavior was observed for that particular target behavior. 0 instances, or 0 amount is what I mean to say. Otherwise, if you see 3 checks, it's because you got a 3 for that area, for that recording cell. So for arrival and morning work, the student earned a 3. For independence, a 2. For transitions, a 0. Okay? Now let's see what another student looks like. Let's go down to RB. Alright? In this case, the student had X's for those 2 goals, and so the X's are shown as gray. Now, no opportunities. N's are the same thing. We had entered an N for these cells. N's and X's both show up as gray. So the number 1, 2, or 3 gets translated into 1, 2, or 3 checks on the increasing side, or 1, 2, and 3 X's for the decreasing side. Now here is where those notes are going to show up. The notes that you've entered on data entry over here are going to show up on the home note right here. Now, how is this summarized? Each column is going to be summarized in terms of an average percentage. All of these are based on 100%, and the range is actually from 0 to 100%. For the increasing side, what we want to say is that the student earned 67% of the available points. How many are available? 100%. Just like any other test. If the student took a math test and got a 67, what does that mean? That he or she earned 67% of the available points. We want to see them at 100. What about for the decreasing side? It is the same thing. The student earned 17% of the available points. What did we want as a goal? Not 100%, 0%. We want the student to earn 0% points for the decreasing target behaviors. The next part of this is a graph, a very simple, direct description of what's going on, visual, a picture of what's going on. It averages these percentages, 69%. It averages these percentages, 17%. The fact that 17 is just a coincidence. Okay, so it's 17 plus 8 plus 25 divided by 3, which makes the average of 17. Again, goal is 0%. Goal is 100%. Now, if you were to print these, you'll see that each student is on a separate page and that there are 24 possible pages, 24 possible students. If we just want to print, let's say, the first 5, because we only have 5 students, using TPS, we'll go 1 through 5 and it will print the first 5 pages. If we want to print a particular student's home note, we will say, let's say, print page 5 through 5, which is saying, in other words, just print page 5, and then it would print just that student. And let's take a look at who that is. Waiting for it to transition to it. It's a little bit slow because I'm running this recording software. All right, well, that was Gail Wins, and Gail didn't have any data for that day. So not a great example for that, but if we moved it over to, let's say, one of the other students, we can see what it would look like. Okay, that's student number 3. If I just wanted to print student number 3, I would put 3 to 3, and then it would print just that student. Now, if you want to send that as a home note, you have to enter all of your 1s, 2s, and 3s and N's. And you have to do that before the student leaves. That may become a little dicey on a particular day. You could do it. You just have to know that you need to do it. And you need to print it. And you need to put it in the student's backpack. Now, you can also do it for the next day. School is not unfamiliar with delayed reports. I mean, what is a report card? I mean, if it's delayed, if it's anything, right? So it's okay. You know, as far as that goes, it's only delayed a day. But if you're a parent, or if you decide that you want to do this on a daily basis, you are welcome to enter all the data. It takes about a minute a student, as we have done time sampling on this. So 10 minutes, 10 students, not too bad. But let's say that you just didn't have the time to do it. And that does happen because teachers are so busy. We have this nice email feature. Now, I'm going to make this smaller just to show you what it's going to do. I'm going to click on it, and you can see what it does is it puts the little dancing ants, as some people refer to it, around that student's home note. Now, all it's doing is it's copying that student's home note. Each student has an email icon. And if I clicked on that one, it's now going to copy it for JB. If I click on this one for RB, it's going to now copy RB's daily home note. So what do I do with this? Well, if you go to Microsoft Outlook, which all of you have, and you go to make an email and send it to the parent, and you paste it as a picture. Now that would be when you go to the paste icon that's on your menu bar, there's a little arrow below it. Click on that down arrow, and now a new submenu comes up. That submenu is going to have as one of the options pasting a picture. It looks like the picture of a mountain. That means paste picture. Now if you do that, it will paste this nice home note, the whole thing right here. It'll paste that in your email, and then you can add whatever text you want. Now TPS does not have an automated click one button and send home notes to all of your students function, and it doesn't do that for a very important reason, because of all of the regulations that have to do with HIPAA and confidentiality. We don't want to be able to send out home notes in such a super convenient way, like with one button. So TPS requires you to send a particular email to a to a particular parent. You address it separately. So by clicking on email, you take the effort out of having to copy it, and it automatically copies it, and then you paste it as a picture. You send it as an email to that parent receives it, and you can do this after hours. And so when the students have left for the day, you come in back to your classroom or wherever, you enter the data for that day, which takes about 10 minutes and no more for 10 students, 1 minute a student, and then you can send these emails to all of your parents and add any other important notes if you want. If you want. Certainly there's no obligation. The idea is for the home note to be self-explanatory. Now I know it will take a little bit of explanation. It isn't quite there yet. And so there will be a home note explanation sheet that will be sent out to teachers. In the meantime, you've got this capability, and you can explain very briefly. 3 checks is good, 3 X's is bad. We want zeros on the right, checks on the left, and the percentages will be displayed right here, and you get to look at the difference between the two. And there's all sorts of clues as to what's good and what's bad. Okay, so that's the home note. I hope you like it. It works really well. Parents really like it. It has gone through many, many changes. I hope this one is going to be useful for you. So that is the segment for Home Note. Once again, Lewis Weber, TPS Training for Behavior Care. Thank you very much.